Young Thug just dropped 20 tracks on UY Scuti. And I gotta be real with y'all. This album was a chore to get through. I mean, it really felt like work. There's flashes of old Thug on this album, but it feels like he hasn't found his rhythm since he got out of jail. Honestly, I feel like he didn't put in the work that he was supposed to make this album feel like a Young Thug album. Let's get into it.
The STEM Society.
Welcome back to the STEM Society. My name is Cole Jackson. This is your weekly album check-in. Thanks for joining me for another episode. Before I get into this episode, if you like what I do, because what I do ain't very easy, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys give me some likes and share it with somebody. If you enjoy album reviews like this, give it a quick share and let people know that you're getting great album reviews from your boy Cole. With that being said, let's get into it. Young Thug just dropped his newest album, UY Scuti, 20 tracks, over an hour long. This album shows two sides of Young Thug. You got the personal side where he's kind of vulnerable. He's reflecting on what was going on with his life after jail. And then you got the scattered, inconsistent side of Thug that makes you wonder if he really just rushed this album. Neither side sounds good to me. Like neither one. There's some highs on this album, but there's some lows that weigh this album down a lot. Let's start off with what worked. There are moments on this album that sounds like Thug found his pocket. On the News with Cardi B, prime example. It really felt like they had chemistry, synergy. It felt like he knew where the beat was and everything. One of my favorite songs on here. Or I'm So Dope, Pardon My Back. All of those work because the energy feels right on those songs. And I feel like that was old Thug. It just reminded me of his sound. And he sounded like he was more comfortable. It looks like his flows clicked a little bit more. And it reminded me of his stronger projects like Jeffrey or So Much Fun. So those were the strong points on here. Those were the strong songs on there. And I think we needed more of that. Some of the personal tracks on there actually land too, like Blaming Jesus or Sad Spider. They showed him reflecting on jail. They showed him reflecting on family struggle. They showed him talking about broken relationships. And all of those songs really work for me. I like it when artists can get reflective and get in that kind of bag when they rap. It really just felt like he was trying to be vulnerable and let a lot of us in and give us how he was feeling after jail or the thoughts he was going through while he was in jail. Those are the songs that actually have weight on the album. And that leads me into some of the features that he has on here. Some of these features aren't bad at all. Cardi B delivers one of the best verses on the album. 21 Savage killed his feature. Travis Scott brings life to Pipe Down. So he has some features on here that really, really work. Even Lil Baby, even though Lil Baby wasn't really rapping about shit, he had the energy that this album needed to keep pushing the song forward and keep pushing the album forward. So those guest features really helped the album. Those guest features actually made the shit work. I was into it when I got to those places. He had chemistry with those people. It felt like they was really trying to work together to give him a great album. Those were the moments or the songs on the album that felt like the old Young Thug, like it felt like the energetic Young Thug. It felt like the Young Thug that I'm used to. But those flashes on this album were surrounded by a ton of problems that I couldn't work around. What didn't work for me on this album was how repetitive this album feels. Like it was too many slow tempo songs on one side of it. Like I know he was trying to get his thoughts out and I know he was trying to let us know how he was feeling in jail, and where it felt like he had the energy on a lot of the slow tempo songs that really worked. It felt like on songs like Catch Me I'm Falling or Miss My Dogs, he was supposed to be emotional and it just didn't hit. Instead, it felt like they were just slower paced songs to slow down the album. Like it really felt like I had to churn through that shit to make sure to get to the songs that I like. One of the bigger issues I had on this album was London on the Track's production. Typically, he's really reliable. Like typically when London on the Track is on the album, I can guarantee that he's got some hits on here. To me, it felt like he was being too experimental. It felt like he was trying to lead Thug into this different way, and it just didn't work out that much. Like a lot of the stuff that they tried to do on this album just didn't land for me, and that was a big problem. Because instead of it sounding like something new from Thug, it sounded like his sound was kind of muddled or disjointed. London on the Track's production did not work with Young Thug's sound, which leads me into another thing: the features. Features didn't help. T.I., Little Gotti, and Mariah the Scientist all felt out of place on this album. They just didn't feel like they belonged here. And I understood the idea, especially with Mariah the Scientist, because he was trying to do some duets with his ex-girlfriend. Those songs for me did not hit because their style, I don't know, it really didn't feel like they had chemistry or their styles didn't work with each other. Like it just didn't feel like they belonged together on a song. And I've been very critical about people who are in relationships doing songs together. That shit never works out. It just doesn't. You have to be an exceptional artist to be able to work with your mate when it comes to making a song. And Mariah the Scientist and Young Thug just did not sound the best together on any of the songs that they did. Side note too, when did T.I. stop knowing how to rap? T.I. one of the best rappers in the South, bro. One of the best rappers in the South. Recent features that I've heard T.I. on sound horrible. Horrible. And that's saying a lot because T.I. is one of the best rappers out of Atlanta. And now it feels like he's doing a lot of this for a check, or it just feels like he's just floating through a lot of different shit and not really giving his all when it comes to his features. I know the comments are gonna light me up for this, and I'm willing to take the heat for it. Young Thug does not sound like he's good at rapping anymore. I'm just being honest with you. There were a lot of songs that felt like he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know how to use his voice as an instrument anymore. It really felt like Young Thug wasn't working on his craft after he got out of jail. And I get it. He spent a lot of time in jail. He wanted to get out, see his people, be around folks and all this other shit. But people were anticipating this album. People really wanted to hear what you had to say post-jail. And for you to not work on your rapping, for you to not work on your energy, your cadence, the ad-libs, all of this other stuff while you were, when you first got out, just lets me know you wasn't taking this album seriously at all. It really sounded like, I don't know what you sound like now. Like you sound as out of shape as you look. Like really. And that's not a diss to Thug, but that just shows me like he wasn't really trying to put out a real album. Like I said in the very beginning of the review, it's flashes of old Thug. I heard flashes of him from Jeffrey. I heard flashes from him from So Much Fun. I'm like, oh, that's who it is. But the majority of this album, no. No, my brother, you completely just didn't care. And the sentiment of what you was trying to do in the themes of your songs, I get it. But the execution with the rapping, with the ad-libs, with everything that you typically do, this shit was thumbs down. That shit was Skip City. It was Skip City on a lot of that shit. And I expect better from you because you're a better artist than that. You're one of the top artists of this generation. And maybe it was the time in prison, or maybe it was just him going through what he was going through once the phone calls and shit leaked. But you got to get back in the studio and get your reps in again because you sounded completely off on here. And that's just something that I'm not used to when it comes to Young Thug. You're way better than this. Once the rapping sounds like it feels off, that usually means the production is not too far behind. So UY Scuti is split right down the middle for me. 50-50. Here's what disappointed me the most. Metro Boomin gave me one of the best beats on here. He did some of the best production on this album. He has one song, Pipe Down. One of my favorite songs on here. 808 had some of the strongest production on here as well. I think they were super consistent with what they gave, and I think their songs were hot. In my opinion, London on the Track shouldn't even been on this album. Too many of his tracks sound disjointed. Too many of his tracks sound experimental. Too many of his tracks just sound like he wasn't really putting in the best he could put in. And I've heard a lot of his production. Didn't land for me. None of it landed for me. I don't know why you had more London on the Track than you did Metro Boomin. If you would have put a lot more Metro Boomin on this album would be 10 times better than what it is. You have too many songs on here to have this bad of a production showing on here as well. Like, it was just a lot of misses to me, and the production just didn't give what I wanted it to give on a new Young Thug album. Which leads me to the feature side of stuff, because I'm 50-50 on the features too. On one side of it, you have Cardi B, you got Travis Scott, you got 21 Savage, and you got Lil Baby. They really delivered on here. Cardi B especially. I think she had one of the best verses on here, even though she was taking shots at Nicki Minaj. I don't care what you think. She's taking shots at Nicki Minaj, but she had a really high level verse on here. But then you have T.I., Little Got It, Mariah the Scientist. I just feel like those features phoned it in. They didn't really give it their all. It just felt like they weren't connected or didn't have the chemistry Thug needed to make this shit work. They were just wrong for this album. And I feel like if he would have cut the track list down a whole lot more, we wouldn't have this problem. Which leads me into my final verdict. There were a few songs on here that felt like old Thug, like On the News, I'm So Dope, and Part of My Back. Those were some of the things that kept me listening to the album. He had strong features like Cardi B, Travis Scott, Lil Baby, and 21 Savage. He also had Metro Boomin and 808 Mafia deliver some of the best production moments on the album. Some of the misses on here though, London on the Track's production was so inconsistent and confusing that I really didn't understand why he was on this album. And then you have so many bad features on here like T.I., Little Got It, people like that on here. And then finally, which is the biggest crime on this album, is Thug's rapping. Young Thug rapping sounded off, and it sounds like he hasn't found his rhythm since he got out of prison. I understand why some critics are calling this album trash. The rapping is so inconsistent, the production needs some fucking help, it's too repetitive, and it's too many emotional songs that miss the mark on here. I honestly feel like he never really locked in, and he really just didn't put in the work. And hopefully he locks in on his next project and puts the work in. But with all that being said, I have to give this a 5 out of 10. It's a light spin. He has too many flashes, but it's just not enough to make this album sound complete, or it's not enough of an album to make me want to play it again. Like, I can pull these songs out and put them on a playlist and be just as happy as if I did listening to this whole 20-song album all over again. A lot of the ideas just didn't work for me, and there's no way I'm going back to this album. So what did you think? Did this album really hit for you? Is this something that you would go back and listen to again? Or will you just pull some songs out and put them on a playlist? Let me know down in the comments and we can have a conversation about it. With all that being said, I'm done. This is all I got for today. Make sure you guys join me on Sunday when I give you guys an update about what's going on in the news and on the timeline. Nicki and Cardi are on the timeline going back and forth, and it don't look good at all. So I will be giving you guys an update on what's going on with that, plus some other news that's going on in music. But thank you guys for joining me for another episode. I will catch you guys later. I love you. Peace out.
Like, he say the most ridiculous shit, but it sounds so cold when he just rapping.